just for anybody who doesn't know, in general terms, what's leiomyosarcoma?
Sarcomas are a very rare cancer, and they don't really have a chemo that attacks it correctly because it's a metastasizing cancer. It's also a genetic, they think, type cancer. And
was it for soft tissue?
Yeah, mine was a soft tissue.
Right,
and there's other sarcomas that go against the bones. So those are the two. And so it was so leiomyoma meant uterus and sarcoma. So that was like the doctor came in and said I was hit by lightning twice because it was extremely rare. But lo and behold, lo and behold, I woke up 10 hours later and asked them to take the ventilator out. And I heard the nurse calling the doctor and saying she's awake and she wants off that ventilator. And so they took it off. And I remember having all the surgeons, there were 12 doctors in my operating room because lots of specialists had to come in, a lot of nurses, a lot of people trying to help cut off hold the veins.
Right, yeah.
And they were crying, and I was the miracle of the night. It was so exciting, but I didn't know that yet. It's like,
right.
What?
Yeah, I'm awake.
Okay, so what's going on? I had no idea what happened yet. Tony hadn't come yet.
Right. Wow.
And I was just getting all this attention, and I knew I was in ICU, and it was like, I wonder what went wrong, and so. So they gave me a 1 to 10% chance. After I woke up, so I was in I was on the ventilator for 10 hours, not 7 days. I was out of ICU in 3 days, not 14, and I was home in 5 days, not 30.
That's incredible.
It is incredible. Yeah. I mean, God, we serve an amazing God. So then I had to face the cancer part, and I think that was God too, because 1 to 10% chance really did not give me a reason to pursue chemo or radiation.
Right.
So my family just jumped in, there's 300 natural cures for cancer, and I really dove into it. Settled on about 3 different protocols, found an incredible coach here in Colorado, and pretty much cancer-free within weeks of my diagnosis. And I asked
So before that, though, you had been offered only chemo and radiation, and you declined that not once but twice, right?
Right. Two surgeons.
2 times, yeah.
2 surgeons, same diagnosis, 3 pathology reports proving that it was a leiomyosarcoma. So, and
not to get too emotional about it, but there was some belligerence to this about, your decision to say no to that.
Yeah, well. They were so frustrated with me. They said, how can you not fight? That I was a terrible mom, that I wouldn't fight for my kids.
That's incredible. Wow.
And that, when I said no, because it's all they know. They were angry that I would not fight. From their opinion, I'm trying to be polite. From their perspective, I was committing suicide because I wasn't going to do the chemo radiation. But at 1%, and in this type of cancer, there's 25% chance of survival if I did nothing. So even if you really study the statistics,
your odds are better doing nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And so it's been, and so it's 5 years now. So my oncologist said, I asked him when I told him we were going to go the natural route, and my husband said, would you like us to stay in touch so that you can track the progress of what I'm doing and what I'm finding? And he said, only if I live 5 years. So 5 years last weekend.
Yeah. And
so I'm, I don't know, I might send him a card. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But here I am.
Here she is, telling the story, spreading the good news.
Yeah,
right?
So there's hope.
Yes.
That's the beautiful thing. You always have to be your own advocate. And when you're sitting in front of an oncologist who you pretty much trust, because this is what they've studied their entire life.
For sure.
They're supposed to be the authority, but then you got to step back and use some common sense. Okay, this is what even American Cancer Society is saying, that there's no chemo for this cancer, and yet that's all they know to do, and they're just throwing something at it.
Yeah.
But it was going to be double doses of the nuclear, the most aggressive chemo they had, and I couldn't even take the painkillers in the hospital. I don't know what I would have done with that kind of chemo. So
yeah. So it was really the alternative was something was better than nothing in their eyes.
In their
right?
eyes, yeah.
That's incredible. So now here you are 5 years later, and so what's interesting is you really were your own advocate, and of course Tony, your husband, along with you. And 5 years later, you have a message that's really powerful. So how would you say your perspective has changed pre-cancer to post-cancer, and how you're proselytizing that to the people you come in touch with?
Well, because my faith is so high that I believe now, from what I've witnessed, our bodies are designed to heal themselves, and cancer is no different.
Yeah.
It's become such a scary word in today's society, but if you know where you're not firing correctly inside at the cellular level, and you can get your cells in balance, these diseases cannot manifest.